Thank you, Miranda, again for this opportunity to talk about the topic also dear and close to my heart, reducing stress at the vet clinic. And thank you everyone for being here. Let's get started. Today, I will simplify this topic in two parts. First, we're going to see some theory, and second, some videos. So number one, why? The why and how is important to reduce stress at the vet clinic. How to be proactive in preparation, and some key points to consider. On the second part, I will be showing easy skills and the steps for you to try at home. We will also see short videos of what do I do with pets during the wait time. And lastly, when we are finally inside of the exam room. All of this combined will make visits less stressful over time. And towards the end, I have a very special slide that I want to share with you. So a little bit about me. Well, my name is Isamar. I am 33 years old. I was born and raised in the west side of the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, where I currently live. I grew up wanting to be a vet. So I graduated from my bachelor's degree in biology. I did some shadowing at a clinic while I was studying. And I wanted to get ahead and learn as much as I could before applying to vet school. So I went to vet tech school in Texas. And let me close really fast this window. I am sorry, because it's in my way. So now, okay. In Texas, I became a registered vet tech, so a registered veterinary technician, and I was off to the real world. Now, working in the real world, I experienced that people walked into the clinic scared and frustrated because of the way their animals were behaving. This was very challenging for us, and many accidents happened. So I made my shift, and I decided to learn more about animal behavior and help people understand their pets. Now, I want to add that the industry of dog training is not regulated, and this means that we don't have a license to be a dog trainer. Personally, I like to go at least 3 times a year to conferences like Clicker Expo, Aggression in Dogs Conference, and the Dog Behavior Conference, where we learn from people like veterinary behaviorists. And all of the information in this presentation is based on scientific research. And we know that scientific research is always evolving. Why? Let's talk about the why. Reducing stress at the vet clinic matters. Well, first of all, many animals at the vet are afraid, are stressed, and are anxious. Like people, when we feel these emotions, it's because we are in situations that we are not prepared to, right? And our personal boundaries for our well-being have been crossed. Now, these feelings of fear, stress, and anxiety are the fight or flight responses of survival. And they can lead to aggressive behaviors, which are a problem to public health. Now, remember, if they don't have an option to escape, then next time the option will be to fight. All of those behaviors can also begin to appear in different day scenarios. And we also like to share that they can also get injured while trying to escape, and they can even die. Now, this information was brought by the veterinary behaviorist Christine Calder. She taught us that the parameters that are being affected based on how the animals are being handled. And we see here heart rate is being affected, the blood pressure, respiratory rate, the temperature, blood glucose, the ability to heal the wounds, and even recovery. And for example, of recovery is waking up from anesthesia. All of these means that their mental health affects their overall well-being. Now think, if this happens in only one visit, imagine how much is the impact if the animal has to stay hospitalized. And now we think about the results with all of the work we have put on socializing our pets, right? Let's talk about how. How can I reduce my dog's stress and my own stress? First, with what we're all doing here, educating ourselves, because we can assume and we can think we know everything about our animals, right? Because we live with them. But the education is what's going to help us understand their emotions and why do they behave the way they do. Then with understanding comes compassion, and compassion opens empathy. I like to say this, like Dr. Susan Friedman always reminds us, emotions and choice are in the contingency. And what does that mean? Well, in this topic, we can have the best intention to treat illness, but if we don't address the emotional circumstance, what the learner, in this case the animal, is learning is how to survive from us. Now, being honest here, we have all moved too fast to get something done to an animal. We just have to be conscious and better every time. Before we make an appointment, the first thing to do before we make an appointment is to learn how the animal communicates. Know what every position of the body means and learn about the ladder of aggression. Know that they don't like conflict and they offer appeasement behaviors and calming behaviors with their body for us to understand that they need space or they don't feel okay with what we're doing. All of the signals are going to happen before a bite. It's only our job to just go slower. Now, a great recommendation I give to everyone is that you randomly record videos of the interactions that you have on a daily basis, because we see everything clear when we play them back. Number two, prepare yourself mentally. So each time you are going to do something with your pet, know that frustration is normal, and take 5 breaths. Just take 5 breaths before you do anything with your animal. This changes your mood and your awareness in seconds. The skills we teach our pets are with the intention to put them in training mindset by muscle memory. And we want the breathing, those 5 breaths, we want the breathing to be in our training mindset for self-awareness. Another good thing you can do is go for a walk by yourself that week of appointment, and really anything that makes you feel good, happy, and focused. You also want to prioritize your sleep and your pet's sleep. So this is for both human and animals. If your pet doesn't sleep when you leave the house, then this is something to work on, because they have to be sleeping well even when you're not in the house. And number 3, planning your sessions. We sometimes get really excited and we want to teach everything at once, but we can't get into a rhythm and we simply stop. So planning also makes it easier for the dog to understand us. What does this human want from me? And also, before every session, have your supplies ready and work with a progress chart. And as a gift, I want everyone to see how my progress chart looks like. let's discuss this for a minute. Oh, you want to log your sessions. You can have a simple chart like this, and you will see how far you have come with your animal or where are you stuck. So let's say this is Monday. We grabbed our chart. We put a timer for 5 minutes and we log in the time. And at the end of the session, you put the time that you finished, and then you go and do some reflections or observations. Just write everything down. So in this session, for example, we heard thunder before we started. So we decided to do treat party instead. And then I like personally to cross the trick, and you're gonna see trick, behavior, or skill. They're all the same thing. For us to know that, okay, we didn't do the stand. We heard thundering, and I want to keep my dog safe. I want to keep Didi safe. So tomorrow's another day. No worries. On the next day, we do the same thing. And this time, so Tuesday, we got into a training session. So I like to write. I put 2 towels on the floor and Didi stepped on them 3 times, and I gave salmon treats. This gives you an idea of what is motivating your dog to learn the skills, behaviors, or tricks. Next day, same thing. And I like to discuss this because everything that we do, they are listening. So, and they are studying us, and everything can change and can look different one day from the next. So, in this, we had visitors 30 minutes before a session. And this is why Didi was moving a lot. So we couldn't focus that much. Next day, the same thing. Now, what can we anticipate? And this is going to be your vet checklist. Before the appointment, you also want to anticipate a few things so you don't add stress for the uncertain. Like, for example, look at your schedule and see when is the best week for this event. You want to schedule when you are less busy than usual, and make sure you set an alarm. This is very good too. This is a very good practice. Set an alarm to arrive 15 minutes before the appointment. And you can also ask for the quietest appointment. So maybe it's the first appointment of the day or the last appointment of the day. And you can maybe book a double appointment to have more time and work with the things that are more challenging for you. If you have a clinic or you are searching for one, you want to ask, what is the average waiting time lately? And do they always pick up the phone? Now, this is important because it is best if you wait in the car and you can just simply checking by phone. If you decide to wait in the waiting room, think about the animal you're taking. Like, for example, puppies, kittens, senior dogs, or pets with compromised health. You should consider that sick animals are in the waiting room. And as we know now that many animals are scared in the waiting room, this can also be an impact, and they can behave unfriendly to your pet. So it can damage your socialization practice. Other things to anticipate: can you be with your pet the entire time? Most animals are less stressed with their guardians. Another thing is if your pet does not eat in different environments and or is not being well acclimated to the car, then this is also something you want to work on. Anticipate, can the trainer come with you or maybe FaceTime? This way we work as a team and everyone can focus on their strengths. You can also ask about anxiety medication, and if you can come in the back door. And last, you can also consider having a vet come to your house. And for all of you in the States, I have an amazing colleague and she is fear-free certified and she works at the vets. So that is also good to have. Now for our golden rules, know that safety is gonna always be the #1 priority for everyone. We need better physical exams, and we can improve and minimize impact with preparation and collaboration. Now, collaboration not only with the animal, but with the staff as well. Provide the information of the behaviors you're working on with your pet. This will also help reduce the stress. Keep your pets under its tolerance threshold as much as you can. Here is where the qualified trainer will guide you until you're good on your own. Remember that positive reinforcement drives good behavior. So at home, nurture your relationship, know your pet's needs, fears, frustrations, know yours. Talk to them with a soft voice, especially when they are struggling to relax. With this, you build a long-lasting bond, and we have to avoid aversives. We have to avoid aversives such as correction colors. We have to give them a routine, enrichment, a safe place where they don't have to worry for their resources and nobody's going to scare or interrupt their sleep. So now we know these are our golden rules. I'd like to print it and put it on my fridge for a daily reminder. You can also do that. Now, before I start showing you some skills, this is your other checklist. Checklist number 3. You want to ask, when is the best time to train? Well, after enrichment, this helps the animal focus faster or easier, not faster, easier. After a meal, like Lara Monaco Torelli always reminds us. And make sure you're not hungry either. This will also make a better session. Always on routine, because especially our dogs love predictability. After you take them potty, and of course, when the temperature is enjoyable and safe for you and your dog or pet. What reinforcers do we use? Well, #1, consent. Consent starts with a conversation, and know that your pet is always listening. Giving the pet the choice to opt out of a training session, if he's not feeling it, is also a reinforcer. At the appointment, if your pet is afraid, advocate and communicate that petting him or proceeding will only make it worse. Your animal is going to count on you to make a good decision, and sometimes that decision is sedation. And food. A good reinforcer is food. We can do wonders with food. Peanut butter, freeze-dried treats, ham, chicken. Just remember to bring extra to the appointments. And I say this because I once found myself in a situation where I ran out of treats and something I didn't want to happen. So now you know. Now let's move on to our second part of the presentation. Let's see some skills. Skill #1, making your dog comfortable with holding his leg for a blood draw. This is Gio and myself a couple of years ago. And before I play it, I want to share how far we have come. Gio was surrendered multiple times for behavioral issues, and he was on the death row. And it was all because his calming signals were being ignored, and he had to rehearse aggressive behaviors. So for us, it was crucial to respect his calming signals, to build a bond, to take him to the vet. And now we know that he has underlying health issues that we didn't know. He didn't want to act aggressively. He was just misunderstood because he was not feeling okay. In this video, you will see me drawing blood from his leg. This is your trigger warning. You will also notice that he got tired before I finished. We are still working on this. But I have to say that for a big dog, he has tiny, tiny veins. Let's take a look. Voluntarily gave me his paw, winning. Can hear dogs barking. There's people behind me. Smells of stress in the clinic. To do some adjustments. Of course, I'm nervous. But he's being so patient. He's being so patient. Now, all of this without restraint. There we go. He got tired there, but I'm done, buddy. I swear, I promise. And I'm gonna give you many, many, many good things for being such a good boy. Okay. Let's break it down. We know there's multiple good ways to build things. For those of you who don't yet have a rhythm, you can start here. Remember, we want to wait for them to calm down and focus. There's pressure, no, just patience. The first step, I'm just going to sit with the dog for a few minutes. And then I am going to gently lift his leg. And if he doesn't resist, of course. And number two, I'm just going to feed while I'm holding the dog's leg. Grab the leg and I just feed. That's it. That's your first step. Very, very, very easy. Now for the second step, we want to work on duration. In this video, you will see that the dog starts to offer the leg on her own. Now, I'm not dispensing anymore because we practiced the first step multiple times. Touching the leg, putting a little bit of pressure for her to get used to the pressure on her vein. And I just reward for doing this. And she doesn't want her leg back here. Now she wanted her leg back, so I gave it back. And I sent her away. I sent her away because movement releases a lot of stress. You're gonna see it in the other videos as well. For the third step, we are going to mimic, we are approximating a syringe to the leg, but in this case, I'm gonna use a marker. And I'm just gonna gradually increase the duration of the marker on her leg. Nope. Is the left one. Marker and reward. Very easy. Now she's gonna give me her leg again. And why not? Let's do another repetition. I added some duration there. And reward. Let's get her moving. If your dog is already scared or your animal of syringes, you can place a towel on top of the syringe to cover it, like in this video. Showing you my marker. And I'm getting her used to having a towel as well on her leg. And reward. That is all. That is all we have to do at home to make them more comfortable for the blood draw. I'm going to pause here for a moment to look at other signs that we are going to be missing in this videos. So notice the eyes of the dog in the picture. Notice the white part of the eye. We usually see the white part when they are stressed. And we now look at the kitten and we see dilated pupils. This means that they're probably aroused and stressed already. Now, context is what's gonna give us, it's what's gonna let us know what is going on. But both of these animals that we see here are at their threshold already. And they are their temperature is being taken at the vet. A quick note here, or a quick thought, although rectal temperature is more accurate, it can cause more stress, and then the animal's temperature is going to elevate because of it. We can get an ear thermometer and start practicing the positive association at home. Another good tip for this is that you can bring the newest fecal sample from your house, and this way we avoid bothering from behind as much as we can. Now moving on for our skill number 2, the muscle acclimation. In this video, you will see the result. And in this video, you will see the result of the step-by-step. I'm going to show you first the result. We started with slow introductions, and here we're going to see a dog that is comfortable with wearing the safety tool. Let's take a look. Ready? Notice that we're still getting the hang of feeding through the muscle. It's going. Hey, nose, come. Good job. Doesn't have a problem moving. Ready? Clearing. Gentle. Her body language looks good. Excited. Oh, good job. This is what we want. Now, why a muscle? I like to think of a construction worker wearing his helmet before, even if he's just supervising. The conditions of the environment change, we are all safe. It also sends the message to everyone that your dog needs space. Prevention creates a safer space. Safety lets you focus on the training, and safety helps the vet make better examinations and better diagnostics. Let's break it down. Know that this process can take a few days or weeks. Practicing at least 5 minutes a day will come a long way. And it's best, like you will see in the video, that the animal is loose for opting in and out of training. In this video, you will see a couple of signals that the dog shows. Number 1, the dog is gonna lick his lip when the object first appears. After the second repetition, the dog had the intention to walk away and opt out. You will see the dog walking away before the 4th repetition. And lastly, I get his attention just to give him a reward for walking away. Know that everything gets rewarded during the session. Lip licking. He wanted to leave. And adios, he left. Not today. And he gets rewarded for it. And the session there. Basically, great things will appear when the equipment is present. Step number 2. After the dog is now happy to see the muzzle, we then put food at the end of the muzzle for the dog to grab. You can repeat 5 to 10 times to keep it fun. And remember to give movement. I have food here at the end of the muzzle. I should have fed that. She was trying to get around the muzzle, but I missed it. I send her away. Very easy step. Step number 3, when the dog learns that it is safe to put his mouth in the muzzle, we then present the muzzle with one hand and we have the reward behind us on the other hand. I also want to say that this is a young German Shepherd, and in this phase in her life, she is in kennel rest due to heartworm treatment protocols. And that means she has no option to release her energy by running. So it's not easy being kennel rest. And I say this because you'll see what's going to happen to me and how I react. So now I present the muzzle and I have my treats behind my back for her to receive after she puts her face in. Started to get a little anxious. She grabbed my hand, that hurt. And I just take a break. You take a break when this happens, just breathe, and it's your decision to keep going or end the session positively. This is why being conscious of the animal that we are working on will help manage our emotions when something like this happens. Next step, fast forward to a few days, and now we work on duration of the dog having the muscle, the mouth inside of the muzzle, while I still hold it in my hand. I just simply feed it. For putting her mouth in and being there. Something I want to mention is that I wait for the animal to chew and to swallow before I mark again the good girl or with my clicker and give her another treat. I tossed another treat. I want her moving. I want her releasing stress. Step 5, we're almost there. We're almost there. Now it's time to put the strap on. I like to grab the strap with one hand and then place it gently over the ear. Let's take a look. It's safe, I can let it go, and I just keep feeding. But in this phase, I never flip the strap. I want to show step 5 again because I want to say something. This is going to be, next video is going to be step 5. with something that has more value. In this video, you will see that the dog is moving a lot and I'm just waiting for her to opt in. This was after a vet appointment. She was not yet ready for the muscle and we had to put it on for safety. This behavior of movement is really, really common when we put them under stress. I like to ask if she's ready. Ready? She thought about it, she's thinking about it. She opts in. And I'm using a pouch here filled with peanut butter. I'm just squeezing the pouch for her to enjoy it while wearing the muzzle. Give her a break. Keeps enjoying it. And she upped in again. Awesome. We do another repetition. Now, if you have a dog that resource guards, you might want to think twice when using a pouch like this, just because if the peanut butter gets on the muscle, the dog can start to guard the muscle. Okay. Yes, we did it. We finished very positive, and then moving to our final step, we finally clip the strap. We just keep feeding good things and observe. I suggest you take it off after each reward to gradually leave it on for more time. And that was your muscle acclimation. Skill number 3, eye check. Now that we have an idea of how to teach with consent, I'm briefly going to explain this next skill. This third dog is a young dog as well, like every single one that you have been seeing here. He moves a lot. In this video, you will see the dog opting in training. And quick start, you want to start this skill by approximating your hand to the dog's face and reward just for the approximation. If the dog is giving you consent or it's not avoiding you by moving his face, go ahead and place your hand on his head. And then you repeat until you can touch his eyelid and stretch it up gently to take a look at the eye. Let's see. Good. So he's looking at me, sitting in front of me. That's consent. I touch his face, good. Stretch his eyelid a little bit and reward. And let's move. Let's see if he opts in. He's there and yes, he opted in for more. So it's basically repetition. I like to add chin rest. This is another skill for eye check. For me, it is easier if we can translate it into a body part, like for example, my leg for my giant dog, or for a small dog, you can use your arm. Let's take a look. The cue is my leg is shift forward. He opted in. And I went ahead and touched his face and reward. Let's do it again. Then I reward for duration as well. So after you teach all of these skills, you want to kind of warm up before you are gonna do or move to the rest of the skill. For shin rest, I recommend this simple exercise. Now, depending on how tall is your pet, you can stack a few chairs or books. In the videos, you will see Gaia opting in a training session, and I'm just luring her with food to touch the chair, and I just reward for her touching the chair. Let's take a look. And just repeat. She touches, I mark, and reward. Very easy and very fun for both of us. Now, duration. See, I come from behind and I just lure her to touch the chair. And then we work on duration. And that's it. That is it, as simple as that. Our next skill is going to be standing. We're just going to reward the standing. And why standing? Well, this is going to help the dog getting used to getting examined. So step one. For the step one, we are going to place 2 towels on the floor. And then we're only rewarding for the dog stepping on them. Let's take a look. Good boy. I mark the good boy. That's what I want. And I reward. Good boy. Again. And the dog is eventually gonna get it, that touching, even with one leg, stepping on the towel was gonna get them the reward. And look how excited he gets. Look at the little tail of his. Step 2, you guessed it, duration. So we're gradually gonna increase the time he's standing there. And you'll see that I start to approach his side. You want to do this after you have the duration set. We're looking at is just feeding for duration. Good boy. I recommend that you start this skill on the floor, and then for your small pups, you can teach on the floor and then practice at a table or on a table. Step number 3, we are going to be approximating our hands. In this video, you will see Gio saying, no, I don't like that. He's gonna move his head side to side when I get my hand closer. Let's take a look. That's a no. That's another no. I'm not comfortable. I don't know what you're doing. He gets a reward for that. I simply give him space and give him his reward. In the next video, you will see that Gio didn't like my hand either. Notice how he closes his mouth and freezes a little bit. And this is gonna happen at the beginning, very subtle. You can also hear my voice shaking as I was aware that he was not comfortable. And if he's not comfortable, I'm not comfortable. Let's take a look. Because his mouth, see, very subtle.
Thank you for letting me do that. Good boy.
and I reward. I'm gonna play it again. If you missed it, now's your chance to see it. And mouth closed.
Thank you for letting me do that. Good
And my
boy.
Lastly, we did more repetitions and I was able to get closer to him. Now in this video, you will see me touching him with the stethoscope. At the beginning, he had some tolerance, but after a little bit, he started to get anxious and he let me know with his sudden head movements. Let's see. Touching, he's tolerating it, but look,
Very good, Mr.
he
Jimmy.
moved his head twice
Very good.
and I just stepped away
Very good.
and make him move by delivering treats on the floor. And I asked him for a little trick. At the end, I asked him for a little trick to make the session fun and to release more stress, of course. Now, moving on to our waiting time. Let's see what things we can do while we wait in our car. Now, for us, this means it's time for mental stimulation and for some fun. This is a box, an empty box. It had an empty box of a charger, and I just put some treats inside and make a little enrichment game. And Gaia, she approved. She loved it. Other things we can do. So while in the car, I like to put piano music. This helps me relax and the dog as well, or the animal. And I also like to play Bob Marley music. Let's take a look. We're waiting for the call to go in the vet. And this is how Ben's is looking like. Pretty relaxed. I also like to muzzle the dog at home or in the car to keep the positive association and to get it out of the way. Did an awesome job opting in the car. Notice a little anticipation there with her breathing. And we never, never, never forget to reward. If the wait time is long, we can get out of the car and take a sniff walk and a potty break. Having them go potty before entering the clinic is a must. Now we're in the exam room, and at the exam room, I like to practice Dr. Karen Overall's relaxation protocol. You can find it in YouTube. This helps her get in the training mindset. Let's take a look. You can hear dogs barking, people talking, dogs crying. And she is in the exam room eating, relaxing. You can notice her breath here, her breathing. She's trying to regulate herself. Just simply feed. Luckily, she now has anxiety medications for her future visits, so she'll be even more relaxed. Now for my special slide, everything I said in this presentation is for cats as well. They're very, very sentient too, except for the muscle training. What can I tell you? It's best to have crates for cats and for dogs as well. But for cats, it's best to have crates that open from the top. That means we don't have to stick our hand and scruff them out. We also avoid the shaking or shaking and baking like they used to call it. Bandanas, we also like to spray feel away bandanas on for cats, and for dogs we can use Adaptil on bandanas. We can always close the door at the exam room and offer them movement. And you will see here, these are our cats, and we also bring treats for them, and we pair noises with food. And here we see how Percy gets comfortable by watching Ollie look out the window. So Ollie relaxes by looking out the window, and Percy relaxes by looking at Ollie. It's beautiful. This is the last video that I want to share with you. Every time I want to smile, I visit this video on my Instagram page. It reminds me that we get our animals to love, and we have the choice to learn and grow with them, even if that means learning how to clean their ears. Enjoy.
Are you ready for bodega? From the most unbelievable blue skies I've ever seen. You got me almost melting away. It's been late under blue sky with bright stars. Exotic sweet. Okay, as you can tell, I can't.
And that's how we clean ears at home. Thank you very much for your attention.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. If people have questions, now is the time to add them into the comments here. I know we went over a ton and those are some great videos. I think people will probably be watching the recording so that they can see them again for their second views. There's only so much you can catch the first time.
Exactly.
All right. So I will give folks another minute in case they're typing in questions. Thank you so much to everybody who came out today. We really appreciate it. We've got a couple more webinars coming up, so definitely check the website for those. Thank you to everyone who donated today to make this possible. We have our BIPOC speaker series, which we're really excited about. If you wanted to make a donation and didn't have a chance, you can do that on our website at everydogaustin.org/donate. And if you want a cool t-shirt that talks about positive reinforcement training and why it's important for everybody, we've got those on our website too. So definitely check those out. I will make sure that this gets sent out tomorrow with all the contact information and things like that for Isamar. And definitely let us know if you have any other questions. And it looks like you have wowed everyone. No one has any questions. You answered all of them.
Exactly. Awesome.
Got lots of great feedback in the chat. So Thank you so much for being here tonight, everybody. And Isamar, thank you so much. And we will see you next time.
Thank you, Miranda, and thank you, everyone.
Have a good night.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.